What is going on, guys? Back with another video. So during these market conditions, when everything is quiet, altcoins are not doing anything major, it's a good opportunity to research different projects and have a list of projects that you could potentially gain exposure to for when the market rallies. And a question I get quite a lot is, am I bullish on SUPRA? It is a new project, and to be fair, it has a big sort of fan base, a big community. And we're going to have a look at some updates into it, see if it is a good potential hold for the rest of 2025. So yeah, guys, ultimately layer ones are a very quiet narrative, and I think the main reason for that is, of course, overall market conditions, macro, this whole tariff war, trade war, and of course there's just huge amounts of choice when it comes to layer ones, when it comes to projects, decentralized apps who want to build and choose layer one. And to be fair, for a new project, SUPRA it's starting to grow, and it's starting to get a lot of adoption, a lot of sort of hype around it as well. So essentially what you can do with this is has a variety of different protocols. You can build different super decentralized apps on this. Very big growing ecosystem in terms of projects, very fast, low latency, also has Oracle services, price feeds, price indexes, and also it is multi-VM. You've got the likes of Aptos, you've got Solana. So there's a lot going on with this project, and it is a very technical project as well. So in terms of the price, and this is pretty much across the board. When you see new projects, they skyrocket up, and eventually, as early investors, insiders start to sell, we've seen this come down from 300 million all the way down to around $50 million, right? So it's down massively, 80-90% down approximately. And is this a good opportunity to get some exposure? Because again, it's been, you've had the opportunity, end of December is when this was at its peak. So it has been quite a few months. You're talking 4 or 5 months, and it's sort of ranging at these levels. Of course, current market cap is 56 million, fully diluted valuation is close to 400 million. So there is a big amount of tokens to be unlocked. So we will get into that as well. Now, in terms of growing, and in terms of growing its ecosystem, in terms of growing, gaining adoption, in terms of builders, decentralized apps on it, they do have some big incentives. You can see here $100 million ecosystem fund launched to over 500,000 verified users, and also I'm sure you all remember killer whales from Hello, which is a story for another day. But also, it shows that they are partnering with other, players within Web3 as well. So, you can apply for this as well to basically, submit your own application. And that is something I do like about SUPRA. They really are, looking to expand this ecosystem with pretty much every single sector covered through this list. You can have a look. You've got the likes of, you've got different gaming sort of dApps on here. You've got infrastructure, bridges, DePIN, DEXs, NFT infrastructure, launchpads, lending, node infrastructure, and also I believe RWA as well. So it's good to see a good range of different projects, and as time goes, this is only going to get bigger. And you can see some of the dexes we've got in here, such as Dexlin here. Again, a good way to grow an overall ecosystem. And also this has the launch pad as well for projects which want to build on SUPRA. DEX, you can earn yield on this as well. And again, we all know how important DEXs are to basically grow the ecosystem of the layer one, in this case SUPRA. So it's good to see good range of different projects. You've got RWA on here as well. And some pretty big projects, right? You've got the likes of this Growfitter as well, who are partnered with SUPRA. 2.5 million plus users. So very good to see. This is some of the signs you can sort of establish whether or not a layer one has potential in the future. And some of the advantages of SUPRA in terms of DeFi, as I've said, it has different native Oracle price feeds based on real time. There's no delay, native automation, very secure, very fast, very it prevents latency, sub-second consensus, and also has the likes of MEV protection as well for traders. So promising overall project. Team is also fully doxed, and the thing with the team is they've got a big amount of experience. You can see here, in terms of the chief research officer, 15 years of research experience in cryptography, distributed systems, digital privacy. You've got people with expertise in finance from the University of Cambridge. You've got people in engineering. So you can see there's a wide range of different strengths within this team. This is a team which is credible, have got experience in big institutes, big universities, big companies, which is a good factor, right? And other things as well. This is the official sort of wallet. This is what you will need, so you can download this Starkey wallet to basically interact with the layer one on this as well. Available on desktop, also on mobile as well. And ultimately, as a project, as an ecosystem, as a community, SUPRA is growing at a pretty fast pace. And what I'm seeing is a lot more projects are being, launched. You've got here, this one is basically like a NFT marketplace, launchpad platform where you can basically trade NFTs, game skins, and more. So it shows that SUPRA could be a good contender for, becoming one of the big chains in relation to gaming. So ultimately, it's just a good touch, having these sort of NFTs on SUPRA as well. All these different aspects help to grow the overall project. So it's good to see, it's good to see. And then, pretty much every single day you've got more here. You've got this here, which is again, in-game assets, game skins, esports, that sort of thing. And then you've got, the likes of, money markets, yield. So there's a lot going on. You've got DEXs on here, liquidity engine in terms of Atmos protocol as well. So they've got a good range of DEXs again, which is going to help to increase the TVL. Obviously, currently the TVL is pretty low in comparison to some of the other established layer ones, but it is definitely growing, as I've shown you with the likes of DexLane here, where you can basically, you can trade and you can, provide liquidity. You can bridge different assets between, different chains such as Ethereum and SUPRA. So there's good growth going. It's audited as well. So this is what you want to see. And ultimately, in terms of growth, in terms of how big SUPRA can get, it's going to depend on just how much they can grow this overall ecosystem. And you can see they are doing a pretty good job. They've also got, they're also sort of doing into meme coins as well, which obviously is going to have sort of a mixed response. But ultimately, as I've said, it is going to bring volume to the overall chain, which is a very good factor. So then what is probably really important, you're going to notice, the fully diluted valuation. What we want to know is how harsh is the vesting going to be? How harsh is the dilution going to be on this project? In terms of the trading volume, it's decent. It could be higher, 4.4 million. In terms of the markets, decent markets, but as a layer one, you do want to see some big tier ones on this, but that is something which is likely to come as they are backed by the likes of Coinbase Ventures, other big tier ones such as Hashkey Capital, Animoca Brands, Shima Capital. So they've got huge backers behind them. So you could, for me, I can easily see, this getting that Coinbase listing and potentially other tier ones. So at this price, I think potentially could be a good buy. And something else which is really important, we want to see how harsh dilution is. A slight drawback or a big drawback, you can make your decision. 22.6% for the foundation and treasury, around 21% for early contributors, which is obviously on the high side, 16% for the team, 21% for stakers and validators, 11% for the community ecosystem, and 4% countdown to blast off, which is one of their campaigns. And this is what we can only go off based on the sort of vesting schedule. I can't really find anything else. So again, guys, if you do know any more detail on SUPRA, or if you are from SUPRA, maybe look to make this a little bit more clear. Now, in terms of how to analyze this, SUPRA is approximately, I think it was launched towards the end of November, I think the start of December. So currently, approximately, I think it is around 5 or 6 months old, give or take. So currently, we have, according to CoinGecko, there is around around 12 billion tokens in circulation. That also matches with CryptoRank as well. So if we go off of this, if we go off of the current sort of vesting, we're currently somewhere around here. Around 12 billion is in supply. So if we go to 12 months after TGE, which is going to be approximately November 2025, you're going to look at something based off this chart around the 20 billion token level in terms of the circulating supply, give or take. And then looks as if we go towards 2026, around 25 billion tokens based off of this chart. So you're looking at approximately 2x dilution. You're looking at approximately another 12 billion, 13 billion tokens coming towards the end of 2026, which is obviously not the most ideal situation, but it could definitely be worse. 12 billion and potentially around double that going into the end of 2025. But as I've said, something to note at the bottom of this, it does say this chart represents our projections only on a best effort basis and may be subject to change. So it might be good for them to give more clarity based on this. They have also said that the team tokens will be, after 2 years will be released, something along those lines. So it's really going to be early contributors where potential, selling pressure, foundation and treasury. So again, obviously you do need to factor in potential dilution. But I have seen worse. But again, I also have seen better vesting schedules. But again, this is pretty much standard for new projects. Also, very solid token utility. Another very important factor when it comes to a layer one. Of course, you're going to need the SUPRA token for the gas fees, for staking, and basically securing the overall network. Powering native services such as the price feeds, oracles, the bridges, real-time data access as well from the price feeds, and also governance. And as they've said, in the future, they will look to expand the sort of token utility. So, overall, I think Supra is a decent option. I think, of course, it is going to be higher risk than some of your other layer ones, the likes of course, Sui, Sai, and some of the other high caps, but it does give you an opportunity to potentially get some very good returns because it is such a small market cap. So overall, I think it's a decent choice, and I will be continuing to watch this over the next few months, just really seeing how it performs in terms of price action and really seeing how much more they can grow the overall ecosystem. But overall, I do like Supra. I think it is a good choice, but of course, be prepared for the risks, guys, because you do not know what is in the future. But what I would say is it does give you some security knowing that they do have some solid backers, the likes of Coinbase Ventures, Hashkey Capital. So yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to drop a like, and also let me know your thoughts on Supra. Do you hold it? What are your sort of targets for this? And ultimately, do you think it is a good hold for the rest of 2025? And I will see you very soon for the next video.